heel erg bedankt. Ja, veel succes.
Even vragen aan alle lieve mensen die een beetje project doen. Die kunnen nu. Iedereen zich hebben ook ingeschreven. Maar nu, mensen zijn een beetje project doen. Nu direct. Bye guys.
Yo, oh.
Are you gonna stand up, sit down?
Degene die zich hebben ingeschreven voor Pitch Your Project, dat is nu 1 verdieping naar omlaag. Op de 7e. Dus degene die zich hebben ingeschreven, alleen degene die zich hebben ingeschreven voor Pitch Your Project, dat is hier eentje naar beneden. De rest blijft hier, want er komt een heel spannende en leuke workshop van Ila. Dat is een regisseur. Ah, ze zit hier. Je mocht er al komen bijzitten, if you want. Ze spreekt Engels, dus deze workshop gaat sowieso in het Engels zijn.
If you want, we're gonna switch places that you have your own.
Ja.
That's your mic.
Okay. Oh,
But,
for karaoke.
Please.
stay talking the mic. Because it's very difficult to
Right.
do this.
Sure. Because I'm Italian, I move my hands a lot, so I'm gonna keep my... Hi everybody. They're explaining me, Mike. And we're gonna go live in a bit, so we are waiting a little.
Ja, dat is goed.
Wat is Luca? It's gonna be okay. Cameras Fix and cue. The cue. How do you pronounce your last name?
Is dat altijd?
Die is uit.
Ah ja, oké.
Maar
Die staan, ja. Die mag aanblijven, oké.
I don't host like this type of just go here. My own style, not like that. I want to be a great.
That's great. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Push.
Yeah.
I do it 5 years now. This year I'm going to study drama. Zijn jullie live? We zijn live.
Welkom iedereen bij Point of View, de Verticaal Filmfestival. We zijn hier vandaag met Ila. Ila Pitaluga, dat is een regisseuse. En zij is ook oprichter van de productiehuis Enfant Terrible Films, dat klopt, ja. En zij heeft ook al verticaal gefilmd voor een videoclip van Pommelien Thijs. Dat noemt Wat een idee. Dat klopt, hè? Ja, hè?
I'm following.
En vandaag komt zij haar verhaal vertellen en haar perspectief over vertical film vertellen naar jullie. In het Engels wel, dus voor de mensen die geen Engels spreken, het spijt me. Dank u wel, doe maar uw ding en nog een daverend applaus voor Ila.
Thank you. Okay, how's everybody doing tonight, this afternoon, whatever, good? All right, I am not Belgian. I live in Brussels though, so I don't know many, usually I know faces in the crowd. So here I'm seeing, okay, new faces. I think of Antwerp and I think of very stylish people, and I definitely see Antwerp is up there. But anyways, so I'm gonna stand because I'm Mediterranean and I feel like sometimes I need to stand and move. But thanks for having me here. It's gonna be chill. I'm here, I'm assisting to my own presentation or whatever. So it's just about exchanging, looking at you while you look at me and not feeling too awkward about it, I guess, for the next couple of minutes. So this is me, and in the next slide, it's Pommelien. I am a filmmaker, like I've been introduced. I don't speak Dutch. If you feel like I speak a bit too fast, you let me know. But like I said, I've been living in Brussels for the past 6 years. Things are crazy. With COVID, I always forget how long it's been. Anyways, and I'm French-Italian. I make different type of video content. And today I'm here at the Point of View Festival to tell you a bit more about it. Next slide. I said I was gonna do this, I lied to you. Sorry, I'm a liar. Like I said, this is me. I was wearing shoes. It was not even heels, it was literally flats and I was having a hard time. But you know anyways, doesn't matter, c'est pas grave. So yes, I am 28 and I've started forcing my friends into making films with me ever since I was 14. Back in the days, YouTube was still kind of like a thing, and I watched the show, the Hollywood show, doesn't ring a bell, Twilight Kids here, anybody? Okay, great. And I've been wanting to making films also. So yeah, I started by taking old cameras at home, asking my father's friends if I could use some cameras, and then eventually, boom, I'm in Brussels. What are the odds? All the way on the other side, and another sea, another délire, but here I am. And after a couple of projects, I founded Enfant Terrible Films, which I'm having a lot of fun with. Because I did not go to film school. I am not the daughter of somebody, but I really wanted to make films and have fun with it. So I was like, Enfant Terrible is kind of my Troy horse. It's been, and it has been, it's still being my way to enter a very male-dominated, a very wealthy and white-dominated industry. And so it's very funny because when I started Enfant Terrible, the first messages I would get was like, hey bro, I love what you do. And I was like, literally was the picture of me, a little child, but it doesn't matter. So Enfant Terrible really managed to make me go a lot of places, so that was fun. And like this festival right here. I've been making a lot of things, but it's already the next slide because I made the gesture, and that's okay. So, but anyways, despite of being making different type of content like music videos, documentary, features, not yet, I would hope one day, but like short films narrative. Today we're talking about vertical, obviously, everything is vertical, and I've been called for it because I collaborated on this very clip with Pauline Tess, which you probably know. You knew before I knew who she was when she contacted me, which is super fun. She's super busy right now, but she sends her love to all of you. She's on tour. And so she contacted me first for an idea, but then COVID happened, tu vois le délire. And then we started to do this project together, which was What an idée, that maybe you can see downstairs if you have the time to watch the entire sequence of videos one after the other. But it's getting there. Like I said, I am assisting to this talk, whatever, because I've been starting making videos horizontally. I've been watching things on TV, I've been watching things on YouTube, and I came to adapt myself to a smartphone. I was not born with the smartphones. I know like kids today, they don't do like this anymore for the sign phone. They all do like this. This is crazy. I'm gonna try not to swear, by the way. This is fucked up. But it's another way of storytelling. And this is why I think it's interesting, going back to the fact that I do not have your very typical way of entering the film industry, music video industry, whatever video industry. To me, it was very important to find alternative ways. I worked my way up through internships, and obviously my parents gave me still great education, although it was not in film, because working in films, that's not a real job. If you know, you know. Yeah, I needed a real degree, but anyways, I still made it through. And what really strikes me about the vertical, although I'm still learning today to use it better and better, it's how accessible it is. Today we all have a phone, especially the iPhones. Like some of my friends' new iPhones are better than my cameras. That's crazy. Anyways, that's another thing. I'm not gonna start hating on the good phone quality because I still have an old one, and that's okay. That's okay. Other priorities. But you can really make films. You can see today how much great content there is everywhere around you, how much we adapt to the vertical content. Because everything is in your phone, everything, all the content, how you tell your stories, everything can be vertical. And of course, not only to forget how political it can be. Whenever you have a camera in your pocket, you can also tell stories. We're seeing this a lot, what's happening in Palestine. We're seeing with Black Lives Matter, things did not just start happening, just people had a camera in their phones and they could document things. So with all, this is more on the negative things, on the dramatic things, but then also on the beautiful things. I just filmed one of the first clips with my girlfriend and I in Vertically. I just put my phone, and that's gonna be like something we will rewatch one day. So definitely being creative and have access to this creativity is one of the things that I really like about vertical videos. Okay, yes, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, and I remember one of the first vertical videos, this is Chris' job. He probably doesn't know me. We met in high school. I don't know if he has, anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll tell him that I put him on this presentation, maybe no. He was very cool in high school because he was good looking and he could sing, and he didn't have any pimples. Anyway, doesn't matter. I totally did not have a crush on him. It's okay. And today, well, he still makes music, but back at 20, I don't know, it was the same time when everybody was making vertical, like Billie Eilish and all those big artists. He made this thank you internet video that I wanted to play, but you can just go online and check, which was super interactive because it was imitating social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. Whoa, memories. I love Snapchat, RIP. I really miss Snapchat. By the way, we don't talk about Snapchat enough. Anyways, that's another conference. It's okay. And it really struck me. Then indeed, like smaller artists, and then in the, sorry, it's me, it's okay. Okay. And like the video you saw downstairs, the one of Billie Eilish is also one of the big artists that also used the medium, which is unusual because it was posted on YouTube way before the reels were a thing. Pommeline really had this talk also with YouTube and YouTube reels when they just started. This was way before that. This is why we all like Billie Eilish, I guess. And then also today in the platforms like obviously TikTok, unless you're one of the boomers that you discover the TikToks on Instagram months later. But we're not really strangers is such a great account, by the way, because what they do, they sell cards. So it's just cards, it's very good. And it's just, you read cards and you get to know yourself better. But they made this entire TikTok account about just having meaningful sentences that suckers like me totally take a photo and then they send it to their mom. Like, oh look, this is so awesome, or to their sister, whatever. And this is really how it's been evolving that I know of. Again, I'm here with you, I am looking around myself, how things evolve. But it's definitely striking how the possibilities you can do. And I think in the next slide, I talk a bit about this. Yes. Okay, it's a bit different than how I did it, but that's okay. So try to imagine what I try to do here. Okay, so forget about this point. Actually this should be there. Okay, just the star is, okay, so this is a graph. I was not very good in math, whatever, but I try to do something. So I did the production, okay, and here's the content. So production value and content value. What does it mean? A good content is when you have a good message, right? And when it's high production value, it means that you have money, tu vois? But sometimes you don't have both when you start, depending who you are, okay? So what can you do? You can have very little production power, production values, but make a super good message, and people can relate to it and feel touched by it, okay? And then you can also, in the opposite way, have amazing, remember, okay, let's go back. Remember when we were in school, okay? And there was that kid that always had the latest toy, but he wouldn't know how to, it was just like shiny, shiny, but he would never touch it or play with it, and no one could play with it because they would have the best toy, and we would have the, ok, tu vas éclater au sol, mais c'est pas grave. So this is a bit what it is like. You have amazing budget, but the message is, okay, and no one cares about what you're saying. The sweet spot that everyone eventually, little by little, tries to go towards is, again, have a great message and always better production value. That is not even that necessary, eventually, depending on which platform you decide. Actually, I think it's super cringe when politicians start making like TikToks and rap and shit like that. Yeah, anyways, it's awkward. So sometimes you don't need to overkill. Depending also on the platform that you use, it should match a little bit the production look. But I don't know, is this kind of clear to you? Okay, all right. So in the next slide, I wanted to ask you a bit. I've been asked to ask you questions. So if you don't answer, I'm gonna get fired. Okay, I'm making jokes to see if the level is here. If you laugh, it means that you're following. That's great. But what do you think the challenge is of making content is, it can be very broad or very small. I don't think there's anything wrong, but do we have... amazing, the first row. Can I give my mic? What's your name?
Naomi. I think one of the main challenges is consistency with posting and making your content. I struggle with it a lot, so I think more people struggle with it too. I try to make TikToks. Yes.
You forgive me. Okay. Naomi was saying how...
Sorry? She, her, I guess.
Okay, so she's making TikToks and the problem is like...
Yeah, consistency, yes.
Okay, and what are the solutions you're trying to...
I think maybe set up a schedule for myself, but I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. So.
And next to you in life, what do you do? Like, because you make TikToks, do you work? Do you
No, I still study and I'm still in school.
Okay, so you're very much in the schedule life. That's I guess also a sweet spot.
Yes, indeed.
And are you having fun?
I am.
Okay.
I am, yes.
Okay, because I think one of the hard things when you need to make it a bit less, I don't want to say less organic, but c'est bien, when we were younger and we just like put a camera and take selfies, it would be, but you still manage to have a schedule. And
yes, I'm trying.
Okay, all right. And what do you do in your TikToks?
I don't have like one specific genre. I just post what I want to post that day and just see what attracts the most people.
Okay, cool. Do you want to give a shout out to your account?
Yes, my account is Naomi with 2 eyes in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, thank you. We have, first it was the person behind you.
Thank you.
And then the cool jacket.
I don't know exactly how to put it into words, but I feel like my biggest challenge is having a feeling that I want to tell a story, but I don't know how to put it into words or into visuals for others to understand it as well, because I can talk all day, but people don't understand what I'm saying, or they understand something different, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do, and I wonder, what have you tried to do so far?
So back in the day, so a couple years ago, I also did TikTok when it was just new, and I just made a lot of meme videos that went viral, but after a while I discovered that I was not telling my story, and when I started to tell my story, the views went down, but there was no problem because I valued my content, but then I was like, what am I gonna tell? Because people don't seem to understand what I'm saying. My last TikTok video, for example, of 2 years ago, is like a very intimate, fun story about my mother and I, and how she helped me to overcome my fear of water. But I realized that I was telling the story how I remembered and not how people want to understand the story. So coming up with words and visuals is, for creative people, I think the most difficult, because we don't think in words and visuals, we think in feelings or something. Like, yeah, I don't know.
No, I think it's a super valid and very popular thing that creators, and even when you just want to communicate, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's super valid, and I think there are different opinions. People are like, yeah, I want to tell a story how it matters to me. And other people who say, actually, I'd rather like be understood, like you said. And you talked about views.
Yeah.
You're not going to be hypocrite here. Views today count. People look at it. Even just who watches your stories, even your close friends' green stories, we all want to know who's watching. So there's also this that takes a bit into consideration.
Maybe I can rephrase my question now, because I've said it out loud. How do you understand better what you're trying to tell?
Yeah.
Or do you have an example, like what was the last story you told, and when did you find out, like, okay, I know how I'm going to tell this story so people can relate?
Yeah.
Maybe it's too difficult. Someone else? No,
I think it's, I mean, unless you want to answer, but I love this because I feel like being storytellers, it's all about this, finding your style, how you want to tell stories. I know that I have a different type of humor sometimes because I also live in a country I was not born, and we have different cultural references. And most of the time, I know who I want to tell the story for, and how close the circle of these. Who basically, I'm trying to think, who do I care about? I mean, this is me, whatever. You take what you want, but I know, for instance, when I tell stories that are, I did this story some time ago that was about my close friends, and I wanted my close friends to first get the references of what I was saying.
Okay.
And that to me was important. And then it was so crazy that other people would relate. I was like, okay. But it was fun. So I really try to value more who do I care, can understand.
Okay.
That's not good English.
I understand what you said because I'm gonna pass the mic on, but I'm gonna close the loop.
Okay.
The story about my mother.
Yeah.
Now I think I should have told the story to my mother and reminisce and document it, and then people would relate to it, I think.
I got goosebumps under my dudun. Yeah, totally.
I see your shirt, I like it.
Thank you. I try to, it's a bit cold. I want it, so, okay, for the photo, no. But yes, it says, yeah, and I find it super touching. I find things a bit, I'm a Gemini. Apparently, by the way, Gemini's here. Okay, it's apparently, I'm not allowed into, but apparently it's the next 15 days. It's very good for us, huh? Good luck. Apparently, I've been told. Celeste told me this morning, so heads up. I think maybe, can we pass the mic first to the person in front, and then we bounce back? Thank you. And thank you for sharing the story. Okay.
Yeah. My name is Joseph, and I think trying to be original is also really hard as a challenge, because when you're making a TikTok, you want to hop on a trend that everybody's doing, and it goes viral because everybody does the same. But like he said, when you want to tell your own story, sometimes it just doesn't work because people, they don't get you, they're not in your head. So I think trying to be original, trying to be you, it's a hard challenge.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Excuse me?
Yeah, were you done answering?
No, I was done.
Yeah, again, these answering questions are a bit related. I really feel like, going back also to filming now, it's so accessible. Like only super rich people that had the money for cameras and hiring 1,000 people on a set and could make films. The good thing today is that we all have a phone, or we all can afford a okay camera and make films. So the counterpart is that everybody can make films. Okay, which is great, you know, better being read. Anyways.
But I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What was for you the hardest challenge as a filmmaker?
Oof. Okay, we can take a good cup of tea later and really talk about it for a long time. No, I think challenges, it's all around, all along. I don't think there's one big challenge that stays there and then, okay, it's like a level of Super Mario that you unlocked and then it's done. I feel like I can recall at every stage challenges. What's fun is looking back. What's fun is being in a moment and realizing that I unlocked something that used to be a challenge. Not so long ago, to me, having a challenge, especially after COVID, was to have a space where I could work that wasn't my room. And now it went so fast, and I was able to rent a little space in the city center of Brussels, where I can actually work and be away from. I love my roommates, and we adopted a dog, but she's a bit anxious when my roommate is away, and she starts puking. Sorry. Anyways, so having a space where I can work and I can be, that was crazy, you know, being able to pay my friends. That was super challenging when I started. It was so frustrating not paying people that I appreciated and I respected as artists. And today I can. Okay, maybe it's not the highest rates yet, but it goes up. Also being able to sustain myself, because we're talking about social media platforms and maybe not always about monetizing and making a job out of it. But definitely, I've had a very heart-to-heart discussion with my dad yesterday. I was like, Papa, okay. It was, being like hearing somebody that cares about you that says, I support you and I believe in what you do is like, wow, okay. And that's the overall thing. And I think then you can, I think I'm, one thing that I managed not to face as much, because having enfant terrible as my cheval de Troie, is that I'm very aware of the privilege that I have of working with people I want to work with. It's not easy. I don't take all jobs that are very well paid. Anyways, the long tea for later. But doing things that I believe in, working with people that I support in front of and behind the camera, I'm really like, I listen to crazy stories around me and I'm like, yo, I didn't have this because I work with people that I respect and I'm respected by. And the few times that it went is because I accepted things for the wrong reasons, I guess, if that answers a bit. Good question, Joseph. Thank you. Okay. And it's good that we go to the person with the shirt need money for Porsche. Okay, yeah. Also.
So, hello. My biggest challenge is to communicate my message to the people with my films. I think it's very hard, and I think that I failed. Whenever people ask me questions about the movie, the message of the movie, I'm always like, okay, so you didn't understand it, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest challenge.
I would like to answer with the meme. I didn't really watch Sex and the City, but there's a meme of you just don't get it. And then she drinks a cup of of course, thank you. Sometimes people don't get my memes and I'm like, you don't get my memes. But anyways, I can understand the frustration. And I got that a lot. I think everybody gets it. The funny thing is also when people read other things in a message that you didn't mean to send out.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I know, but then I'm like, okay, follow me, because I don't know, but I'm like, once I make a film, like we said, we want to tell a story. It's like a baby. I work with my friends. We make a big baby together. Anyways, let's not think too much of this image. Okay. And then I don't know if that can help you, but I'm also trying to work on it myself, because once it's out, it's kind of like, just like a kid, it has its life. And people welcome it as they perceive life. And I think you can find this with pretty much everything. I get the questions can be annoying. And maybe, I don't know if you've asked these people, what didn't you understand? Or now is it clear when you answered, did they say like, oh yes, I get it? Or like...
Yeah, then they get it, yeah.
Maybe you're just too good for them, honey.
That's what I say myself.
Yeah, just level up. No, but I think it's a valid thing to wonder and something to still, though, accept. I think feedbacks should always be taken in consideration. Mm-hmm. And if that happens and it bothers you, I think that's the real thing. If it happens, I wouldn't be so worried because people just read things in different ways. This is how people argue, right? It's what you cannot control how people welcome anything you say. This is why miscommunication happens so much, right? But if it's external, you can't control, you can maybe try to work on how you receive it. Why does it bother you? What does it mean for you? Does it mean that you want to adapt your message more to the crowd? Or do you do something more for yourself? I don't know, I'm trying to think how I would feel about it. The type of films I made were always to impress people, and anyways, that's another story. But yes, so I think this is something interesting worth thinking and still evolving. We all have challenges, Yeah, thanks for sharing. One more question?
So my name is Freddie, and the biggest challenges I face right now are to be labeled as let me say, a filmmaker or photographer interested in sports. and to get disconnected from the labels. And I wanted to ask if you have the same thing. If you want to get away from the labels people are putting on you.
Okay. It's so funny that you're asking me this because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, when I'm around at a bar and people don't know me, and I say, what do you do for a living? And I'm saying, I'm a filmmaker. I'm like, ça va. But that's very interesting because I think I'm surrounded by a lot of people who do similar jobs or are in my art industry, and now I'm getting to know people who do totally different things in my life. Anyways. So it's interesting. I see 2 points in what I hear. And this, some people will know, some people will know less, but it's okay. I don't know if you know I don't know in photography if it's the same thing, but for instance, in music, in film festivals, when you submit a film, you gotta check boxes. What is the genre of your film? Who made this film? And then it got a lot of like identities. And it feels like to say, oh yes, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a queer filmmaker, I'm a Jewish filmmaker, I'm like, the cast is this, and you have to check boxes. And it feels very shitty when it feels very shitty when you have to put yourself in a box. I understand. The way I'm trying to navigate it as a person who is in some ways boxable, marginalized, whatever, I look these people, the money people in the eyes, and I'm like, you have money that I want for my friends and I to pay, and I have something that you can put on your pamphlet, whatever, on your website. There's an exchange. And you have to be super responsible about it. You really cannot fuck this up because identities are abused and often mistreated outside of some contexts, and I take this very seriously. And this is a moment where I use very wisely where I put my work and time and where I put the people I work with. And again, like I said, if you know, you know, type of argument. And then eventually it's like, do I manage to land the subsidies that I can pay my friends and collaborators, friends a fair fee? Okay, we're being smart, we know what's happening, you're not playing us, you're not like, no, but we know. And we ask things with a strong voice. We don't sit back, you know, we know what's happening and we are aware. And that's one thing that I think in this very socially and politically animated times we're going through is important to be aware, the way I work at least, and not let people fuck with us about this. Then in the others, no, it's funny because like I said, I was thinking about it the other day and I'm like, do I only make films? And I was like, do I only make films? And I make a lot of films, that's true. And it's weird to say, sometimes I met this person one time, it's like, hi, I am Marilou. Who are you? And the first thing I answered is like, hi, I'm Ila and I'm a filmmaker. And it's like, I can't believe I answered that I am my job. It's like, genre, tu vois. No, we need to talk about this. Maybe you have an answer for this, because I'm also struggling about this. I don't want to be my job. I come from families that lived to work. They only could do that, and they had to do this. So it was this, they stayed alive. They survived through work. So this really bled into my roots and how I was brought up. So it's very hard to get detached, but like I said, surrounding yourself with good people who are, I met these new people who said, some things that stuck in my mind is like, I don't want to live to work. And I'm like, whoa, is that a thing? You can really do other things than working? And sorry, I'm really getting into this answer because it's really affecting me. But Joseph maybe has something to say about this. Joseph, do you have an answer for us?
An answer, not really, but I think there is some beauty in it because...
Sorry, so what?
It's beautiful. There is beauty in it because people will label you as something, and when you find a way to be seen as something else, it shows how resourceful you are as an artist.
Wait, come again.
People will label you as something.
Yeah.
Okay? At a certain point, you're gonna get frustrated with this. Okay? Then you're gonna ask questions about yourself. What am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? What kind of artist do I want to be? Okay? And I think there is beauty in it because it's going to show you how resourceful you can be as an artist because you're going to change, you're going to evolve. So I don't think it's something negative because you make something and people will see you as the thing you made. You cannot escape from it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Okay, I love it. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you for your talk.
Thank you.
No, really, that's awesome. It makes me feel good, I think. I see what you mean. Yes, okay, I get you. It's like the whole thing of evolving in life. Like I think we were talked a bit about is like you can never stay still. You always have to evolve. This is beautiful. If I could cry, I would cry a little bit. No, but thank you so much. That makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think that's also a thing. I mean, we're more than one thing. You know, sometimes I look at my mom and I'm like, my mom is not only my mom. My mom is a woman, my mom works there, my mom has friends there, she does this and this and that. And I tend to only see her as a mother because society's fucked up also. But so I guess knowing that you also are more than a photographer and a filmmaker that also does a lot, maybe going back to the question of like how you see yourself versus the outside, maybe controlling that first, maybe introducing yourself like something else also. What can I say if people ask me who I am? I don't know. I need to make myself a new identity, a new obsession, but that makes sense. Okay, anything else or we can move on?
I like this. I like this triangle. I want to add something again. Everyone was speaking to me as well. I just realized, because you were talking about this topic, that in my life I was trying to fight the labels at first until I realized who I am, and now I want to die for these labels like you are wearing on your shirt. You are French and Italian, I'm Dutch and Chinese, we're both living in Belgium, there's a lot of identity mix-up over there, and now I am ashamed that I don't speak Mandarin very well, and now I want to complete that circle as well. And so I think it's the same for a lot of labels are all also lost their power. Like an entrepreneur nowadays is a bad word. A filmmaker is someone with no money or with another stereotype. But I think when you realize what it means to you, then you can start finding other people who wear the same label and go together.
Yeah, I definitely think overall, it's very much about celebrating. I mean, I really want to look at what I do in a celebratory way. Although I 100% understand that it's also important to make statement on some things that are really messed up. They need to be there, because if we don't talk about it, it's as if they wouldn't happen, which is not the case. But I feel like it's so much... It's very tempting to only see the sad things and bad things. Even in people, when you start arguing with somebody, you only see the bad thing. And it's easier to forget the beautiful side. So I also want to celebrate, period. You know, so I think this is very cool.
I can turn it into a question maybe. So we're talking about the core of creativity, really, like telling your story, your identity. You as the expert, how do you turn that feeling into a project, people with a vision and a budget that you can execute on?
I love this question. This is why I make films. I used to have long hair, so I'm still not used to, anyways, just imagine. Really, this is why I make films, is really in all of my films, I put a good bit of me and of the people I love and people I know. It's really important to me to celebrate, it fascinates me how through films you can capture moments. You know, I have videos of people who are not alive anymore because they passed on, and stories in places that don't exist anymore, and it's insane. Anyways, I really like to create a little universe to stop time when I make films and have this little universe, and I can go visit, which is, I respect photographers, and I think photography is super hard. I'm not a photographer. What I really like about films, and the reason why I was attracted, was mainly again, I'm Mediterranean, I move a lot. For me, how people move is very important. I'm very sensitive to voices. We don't have smells, unfortunately, yet, but these are already two things that in films I like to capture. Obviously, the budget is something you always have to keep in mind when you make films. It's true, c'est pas le monde des bisounours, huh? But there are ways. If you want to tell your story, that's what matters the most. If you want to do it vertically, if you want to, whatever medium, you know, there's amazing content out there, and I think the message that you pass on, and by being creative, that's really the key. And you can be smart, and there is money out there that we need to go and get. It's always the same people that get the money. We need to go out there and like ask questions and get the fucking money, you know? Anyways. Finances, here, sorry, challenges. It's great that we talked about the real questions I care. Sorry, you wanted to say something? No. Okay, later. And this is really the reason why I'm coming here, and I'm very much relieved that it's not so much of a tech-savvy festival, to be honest, that it's all about the technological support. But I also wanted to talk a bit, I guess this is more about the challenges also of the vertical creation that makes sense within this film festival, right? And it's some stuff that we already talked about. It's also, we can talk about it more later, but it's mainly technical on how things change so fast. Remember with Vine or Instagram some time ago, everything used to be square. So we get super dependent on technology. This is super frustrating, especially when you, again, talking about money, you invest in a support that you work hard for it, and then it has been. I don't know if people still say has been. It's back up. And now there's a new technology, and now everyone shoots not 16:9 but vertically. So you have to make double the work. You got to film 4K so you can have both format. I mean, this is a bit geeky maybe, but in the reality of the industry is like double the work, and the pay does not go up with it. I think, to me, the value in vertical is, before you think of where you want to post it, is like, why you want to tell this story, what do you want to tell? And sometimes the vertical can serve the storytelling more. If you want to tell it in a certain manner, it serves the story more. So this is a bit what I wanted to go for it. And yeah, the money is also there. Wait, goals. These are my friends. I wanted to ask you about your goals, but the questions are actually already here. I don't know, by the way, the time. I don't know the time. Okay. Oh, chill. Ça va, tranquille, on a le temps. Okay. I wanted to ask you a little bit of the goals. I don't know here, I know already you said that you make films. Is everyone here, I don't know, I asked you the question, huh? Is everyone here making films? Like making content, video content? No. Who is curious? Who is here that does not make content, but he's here because I see you said no? Okay, you don't make content per se. You don't make content either. Okay, I'm super curious. Oh, okay, wow, I'm super curious. Why are you here?
Because I have a very big interest in films and watching films and how it's produced and the meaning and the story behind it.
Okay, hey, you're your target, everybody. How do you feel about the support? You know, how do you feel when you watch something on a screen versus watching it on a TV, on a computer screen, for example?
Could you elaborate on the question?
How do you feel a difference, even the comfort of your eyes, when you see something on a vertical, full screen, without black bars, c'est bien, versus something that you watch on a
on a bigger screen.
Yeah.
I think there's, because we had this conversation just now today, so coincidence, I don't know. But I think there is for me personally, there's a big difference between watching something on the phone screen and going to the movies or to the cinemas, because that's a full body experience, going there and then sitting there and watching on such a big screen, because it magnifies what you're seeing if it were on your phone screen. You have audio, it's surrounding you.
Yeah.
Things on your phone, it has to be quick and it has to be entertaining, because you can just scroll away. To say that it is more confining going to a movie theater, you have to decide, oh, do I want to interrupt this movie for everybody else to just walk out, and you also pay for your ticket.
Right.
So for me, yes, there is a big difference for watching the two. Yeah.
That's interesting that you were the use confining to the movies, but that's totally fair. And also you talked about what's free and what's not. Mm-hmm. Also because I don't know exactly, I see you were a bit sort of the same age, but some look younger, some maybe look older, I don't know, that walk around, but it's also different value of like what is paying more when you give out your data, for example, versus when you pay for your ticket, especially on TikTok, that the data is so crazy, so good at knowing the algorithm and stuff. Yeah, I was thinking of what is the latest crazy algorithm TikTok found for me, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. Anyways, we'll come back later. But this is interesting, and I think you very much resumed the general hope, I don't know, that I had. I am happy that it's not in an interchangeable medium. You wouldn't watch an entire film on your vertical phone, right? That would be crazy. Lord of the Rings, my roommates are fans, so I have this movie. It's crazy that that's the first movie I said I'm gonna tell them tonight. Anyways, you wouldn't watch an entire movie on your phone screen, but also things need to also tell a story fast. Okay, no, that's reassuring. Thank you so much. But it's cool that you're here to learn more a bit about this. There are also two people around. I would be curious to have a bit your thoughts about this.
I came because the workshops and the festival is about like storytelling.
Okay.
And I think whatever you do in life, whether that be like making content or just being with your friends or family, it's all about storytelling and how you tell a story. Because eventually that's how people connect with you. That's how you make friends. You share similar interests and you connect on how you say it and what happened in that instance. And I think that's why it's important, how you tell a story and the story that you tell, because that makes a difference. For example, you can apply for a job and you can tell your story in a different way that makes people connect with you and you can get hired. Or you can make content that's very authentic to you, and people are going to connect with you and they're going to like grow, and that's how you also grow a community. So I think that's the moral of this whole experience today.
If I can add something to what you say, also something that the slide before I showed was a lot about the industry type of things, which actually it's not something I really wanted to talk to you given the context, but something I really miss about talking about being a job. I love when people just make videos for funsies. I used to have this, I did it 1 year, 2028, best year of my life, until now, we hope, touche du bois. 1 second every day, it was this app that you would film 1 second every day. Lol, okay, that's very straightforward, sorry. It was amazing, it was just my friends and I. And it's insane to see how much my life has changed. Some people who are not in my life anymore because life and some Mediterranean drama, but that's something else. And some people who are still there and they've been there for so long. And yes, and I love that people still take photos, people still make videos. Okay, for Instagram, it's okay. I don't shame people for being on Instagram. It's dumb when people just whatever. But they make content because they love it, and they're not like, I am a pro photographer in their bio. I have so much love for people who genuinely want to collect memories. You talked about community. I mean, if it's not the goal of making content, then I mean, that's not what I want. This is really to build stories, to build bridges. that we all do it in different ways. And I think you can do this on TikTok and on YouTube. It's definitely possible, connecting through a video. I mean, I remember in some periods of my life, I always have a content creator who really resonated things I had in mind. And yeah, and then I have some friends who make fun montage every month about a monthly recap. And whenever I see my face, I'm like, yeah, I was in your month this month. It's fun because life is so crazy. You don't see who, my colleague didn't see his friend in like so many years, and now they're seeing each other after X years today. You know, life is crazy sometimes, and it's good to keep memory. So yeah, 100%, I really agree. I don't know if you want to also say something. Hi.
What was the question?
It was just like people who don't make films and video creation, what did you expect from?
So the reason why I'm here is because I study media sciences, and I'm interested in everything that's about media, and television is, and film is a part of it, and I see it as a sociological and political thing as well. So contradictory, I haven't seen many films in my life. I also didn't make like contents, maybe something fun for my friends or something. But I'm still in the searching phase. So every time I see something, a workshop or a festival, something that has something to do with media, I'm always there because I like to explore what's out there and what I want to do in my life.
I love it for you. I really miss this. This should take more space in the film creation, not filmmaking industry. That's really why this is to be, right? Thank you for sharing. So some of the questions, maybe then for the others who are here and also make films maybe in a more active way, I was thinking of like, yeah, why do you make films?